Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the True Narrative Commentary. I'm your host, the Million Dollar Man, Mark. I've been doing something different with today's call. Normally, I'll release a call without commentary before doing mine over it. I figured people would want to listen for the first time without interruptions. However, this week's pod call is pretty short, and I figured I'd add some commentary to it just to make it longer. Plus, it's just funny. I'd appreciate feedback in the comments if you think this is good or if you'd rather get GG in the raw, unedited first time through. Now, this call takes place right after last week's. George has somehow made his way to the AutoZone parking lot from Costco's, but has no money, and it's starting to look like his guy that he has, the mechanic, is ghosting him.
Yeah, man.
Hey, how you doing, GG? I tried to get a hold of you yesterday.
No, I've got a lot going on right now.
Ever notice how like 70% of the GG calls, no matter if there was Saunders, Phyllis, Chris, or Podrick, always start out with George sounding panicked because he has something going on right now. George's life is one constant giant disaster, and it's his fault. Self-made man. It's also funny mentioning all the different moles we've had talking to George so far in like the past 10 years, at least 4 of them.
I turned the phone off. I had too much going on. I'm just right now trying to figure out what I'm doing.
What happened with the car? With the mechanic?
I don't. He's back, but he's taking his time, and I'm sitting here waiting for him. So I'm kind of like pissed off right now.
So let's unpack this. George's mechanic is ghosting him, and George is pissed off about it. George has admitted that he has no money, and I'm sure this guy knows that he's not getting paid that day if he did the work anyways, so of course he's going to blow George off. And this dude probably knows that George's word is shit, and chances are going to be high that he doesn't get paid at all. It's classic narcissistic entitlement that we've come to know and hate from George.
I thought he told you he was coming.
No, he's came back. He was, but it's a long story, man. It's too damn long to get into. I don't want to get into it.
Well, did you get a chance to? I know you were talking about calling Vince and
Vince
throwing that line out there.
Vince means well, but he can't do it. So.
What do you mean he means well?
I've asked Vince, and it just in so many words, and he says that he's not able to.
I want to elaborate on something that I don't think we've released publicly before, but Vince has been feeding Henry Mitchell information about George, without George knowing it, as far back as 2021. They obviously don't talk anymore. George calling Vince the N-word 2 times to him on the phone kind of burned that, but he was a great super spy over the years and deserves to have respect put on his name.
So that's the answer from Vince.
Wow. How about Kevin? Wait.
Kevin, I don't know what's going on. Kevin had some kind of thing going, some kind of play going on, and I can't get a hold of him. So.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Oh, how about the preacher?
My friend has helped me tremendously. He's the one he's helped me. I'm going to have to come to him with some kind of thing but I don't want to bother him right now because he's in church this morning. So.
Oh, that's right. It's Sunday.
George's deacon friend is a dude named Michael. Obviously, he's a good man of the Lord. I remember when Jesus stood on the mountain and said, "Ye shall help racists and rapists with handouts. So give it up to God, as the rapist takes thine money and never pays thee back." The word of the Lord. Amen. Also, in the previous call, George admitted this dude got in trouble by his wife for giving George money, which is hilarious. Obviously, old Mike is a little loose in the coffers and needs to stop throwing it away on the willfully homeless.
That's
right. He's the one I'm going to have to come to, but I'm going to have to get rid of it. I'm just Chesterfield Auto Parts. Chesterfield Auto Place is going to be a given. I'm going to have to figure out a way to get this stuff out of the car and then take it. I can't. I'm sitting here in an AutoZone, waiting for him to come, and it just is crazy. I mean, he's coming, but I don't know when. So I I'm having a bad morning. So other than that, what's going on?
Oh, nothing. Like I said, I tried to call you last night. I got home early
Yeah,
yesterday,
no,
and
I didn't. I had the phone off. I turned the phone off. I was just not. I had a. I mean, where was I? I was walking around a parking lot. That's what I was doing.
all day yesterday.
Not all day. Well, you may as well say I was walking all day yesterday. Yeah, I had to go. Missed. Well, I had an excursion with the bus. I had the situation with the bus. First time I rode a bus, and that was a joke.
What happened with the
I
bus?
had to wait. No, I had to wait, and then I waited for the bus to come, and then it was get the wrong bus number, and took me to a different location to where I needed to be, and then I got pissed off, so I walked pretty much.
Okay, yeah. So this is why Richmond Public Transit is a joke, because George doesn't know how it works and just gets on random buses hoping it gets him to where he needs to go. Of course not. Couldn't be George's fault. Google Maps will tell you when buses are running, what stop to go to, and how many stops once you're on the bus to get off. All George has to do is use his brain and technology, but that's obviously asking too much.
I walked for most of the. I mean, I kind of like was walking like in fast pace most of the day yesterday, and I guess you could say I had my daily exercise.
Oh, yeah, you were working it, huh?
I would love to see George on the side of the road doing a, quote, quick pace walk. I bet the quick pace to George is a slow walk to a non-obese person.
Well, I was trying to get to where I need to get to, and I was dreadfully late, so I couldn't. So that was just a colossal fuck up, and because I could have taken the car, but the car I don't want to take it across the river. So.
Gotcha. Did you work for Costco yesterday?
No, I couldn't work yesterday because of the bus. Couldn't work yesterday because of the bus. I mean, that situation, and I had to wait for that. That's the worst scenario that I could ever come up with. I need to get this. I need to have this car running right, or getting a new car, or do something by this week. After Memorial Day, I have to get this car running, and if I can't do that, I'm just going to have to do something. I'm going to have to get a rental. I'm going to have to just do something.
Yeah.
I can't continue. I can't continue this, and I have no help. No fucking help from no one.
Here's a rapid fire example of George blame deflection. Because he can't take the time to look up how the bus works, it's their fault that he missed his shift at Costco. But not only that, he's in this situation because no one will bail him out for whatever reason. I don't know if you guys have all seen that meme where the kid is riding the bike and in the next frame he puts the spike in his spokes, falls off, acts hurt like it's the stick's fault. George is that kid riding the bike.
This is where it fucking ends. There's no fucking help. I mean, I want to slip my wrist right now.
Oh, don't do that.
Well, I'm not doing it, but I'm not ready to slip my wrist. If I have to spend another fucking week like this, I'm going to fucking, I can't live like this. Is for it to get to this level. And not only for it to get to this level, I'm gonna do some changing, and I'm gonna wipe the floor and clean house with the contacts that I have, and say fuck it. That's why I have no desire to do anything. I have no desire to do any shows. I have no desire to do any shows. My desire to do anything has diminished. I want my life back. I want my fucking life back. That's all I want.
Yeah, George wants his life back. The life that he totally earned. A life where he lived with his dad till the janitor died and lived like a rock star for years. Then by some stroke of bad luck, George seemed to have never saw coming. He was broke and lost everything. Even if George got his small-time money life back, he'd be in the same situation years later. It would repeat the exact same way. George didn't do any contact cleaning or any changes like he said the pod just now. And that's obvious given where he is to this day, still homeless and broke.
I understand completely, man. And it just sucks because no one really has a straight answer for you, and it seems like when you had all your money, you were there for a lot of people, and it's like, where are those people now? When you're at your worst?
And then and I had, and I'm not going to get into this or say who or whatever, but the comment was, hey, well, because you went in them pussy, you went in them whores, and hand like that. And I said, I help men friends as well, aka Matt Tatum, aka, and I didn't have to keep naming them. Matt Tatum was not the best of people, but I helped Matt Tatum.
Matt Tatum isn't the best of people is quite the understatement. The person who said that he only helps whores was Angela, and she's right. George was giving money to junkies in jail constantly with the promise that they'd be with him when they got out, and lo and behold, none of that ever happened. Then the other person he's helping is a violent child rapist. George should have started his own charity organization. He had so much money and was such a giver. The George Yaird Foundation for the Betterment of Junkie Whores and Child Rapists. Where can I sign up to donate?
Try to rehabilitate that dude.
Yeah.
Gave him fucking money to help the guy because, at one time he was my friend. At one time he was, my compadre. And,
somebody threw in your face that you were buying women so they couldn't help you. It's your fault.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that. Yeah, someone said that I was buying pussy. So, needless to say,
you don't. I say that.
George does pay for pussy. He bragged about it in his book, and don't forget Shelley giving him a handy for a few hundo.
What an asshole!
It gets frustrating when I hear that kind of shit, George. That's like really fucked up to say to somebody.
Yeah. Well, let's just say that person and I don't speak anymore.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah.
He said it was your fault.
And then Angela used to say that to me too. That bitch. Angela used to say, "Well, you buy pussy. You never helped anybody." I said, "Like, you never helped anybody? You never did a damn thing for me." I said, "I did it." I said, "What the fucker? What plan?" This is when the argument started happening between me and Angela when she was about ready to turn. "You never helped me when I needed it." I said, "Is that right?" I said, "Who did you call when you lost your dog?"
Let's compare what Angela asked for compared to what we know George was asking her for in the voicemails he left her. Angela wants someone to talk to for comfort after her dog is dying. Understandable. I would never approach George for comfort because I know he doesn't give a shit about anyone but himself, but whatever. On the other side, we have George berating Angela for money, demanding she help him, and calling her a bitch and threatening her. Funny how George forgets that.
When your dog died, who did you call? Yeah, fuck you, bitch.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ, man, I can't. Anyway, so that's where my mind is right now. I'm trying to. Everything points to Chesterfield Auto Parts. Or Chesterfield or the salvage yard. Everything points for me doing this, getting the title, getting another storage unit, putting the stuff in there for and then just getting just flipping this car. Everything is pointing in that direction.
Well, have you considered selling that stuff like on Facebook Marketplace or something?
Well, I know. You mean, wasn't my car? It wasn't my car. It's my clothes.
No. In the storage unit, Facebook has a marketplace. You can put things up for sale. You can take pictures of it and say, "Hey, this is for sale. Here's the price," and people can come and buy it.
Yeah, I can't. Right now, the job is the priority. Starting that job and I'm supposed to start is priority, and for me to function, to be able to get to the gym and shower, be clean, these are priority things for me to have a fresh pair of clothes, for me to be presentable.
It's ironic how George always talks about needing the shower, and in this case needs fresh clothes, and he always brags about how good he looks. Because he looks and smells like shit all the time. The clothes he wears for a night out in the town have stains and rips in them. His shirt is half tucked in, and his collar is probably messed up, and did a half-assed job shaving. Could you imagine this person? Like, that's what he dresses like at night? What's he look like when he comes in for work? George must be the most slovenly looking motherfucker to ever walk inside that Costco. On top of that, he's handing out food samples. Yikes, not family friendly.
For me to work. These are the only things that are yes. And for me to be able to go ahead and have, I'm sitting here waiting for this guy in the parking lot. I'm getting sick and tired of this. I mean, he said he's coming. Okay, well, I mean, so it's Christmas.
So it's Christmas.
But I gotta kind of kiss his ass, because that's one possibility of maybe I can get this thing running today, on the prayer of him coming up and getting his car running, and then maybe working today. Would that be an lovely idea?
Yeah, you get some fucking tips. Hell yeah. I mean, if you save up to get some tips,
the mindset. Okay, here's the mindset from Casey and Kevin and Ellis from Germany, which why don't you just find a job and not use your car? Okay, great. That's a great thing. And I understand that argument. Find a job, and don't use your car, and get a job, and that's a great idea. Great idea. But guess what? There's things I'm going to do, and there's things I'm not going to do. I'm not going to fucking. I mean, if it makes me. What's the word I'm looking for? They clean a sewer, clean a toilet, which I even would clean a fucking toilet. But there's one thing that I would not do, is work at fucking McDonald's. Are you fucking? I mean, and this is the mindset that that pisses me the fuck off. They say, well, you work at McDonald's. I said, you work at fucking McDonald's.
The word you were looking for is elitist, George. Also, Kevin and Casey don't need to work at McDonald's because they aren't destitute sitting in a parking lot next to their broken down home waiting for a charity mechanic to come fix it for free. George said those are great points, yet he doesn't listen to any of them or pursue something that doesn't involve driving, and he gives no reason for it either. George is acting like he's above working at McDonald's. George could have been putting in time at Mickey D's making $15 an hour instead of spending all day in a parking lot complaining to a troll about it.
Well, okay, GG. Is that your pride talking?
I have a contact that was a manager when I DoorDash. There was a girl that I knew that was a general manager, one of the general GMs for McDonald's.
Uh-huh.
We do DoorDash, then we go in that place. She said that is the most vilest, lowest of a totem pole place that she would ever work at. This is coming from a general manager that worked there for 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't have to, just to even burger joint, 3 years. No, I wouldn't do it. So, I mean, I understand.
No, not like full time. I would never expect you to work there for the rest of your life.
No,
get some cash?
But not even. I would clean a fucking toilet before I do it. You get what I'm saying?
How about like a dollar store?
Then go work at McDonald's and be their dedicated janitor, like father, like son, right, George?
Like a dollar store, like some place where you can stock shelves,
Yeah, well, that would be a prospect. Okay, I've applied in a lot of places. You don't know. I've applied in a lot of places.
Yeah.
I've literally dropped my resume at a bunch of places.
Well, did you do the application too?
Some places they want resumes, some places they want applications, some places want both. So that's kind of like what it is.
I can't even imagine what a disaster George's resume is. Misspellings and grammatical errors everywhere, wrong formatting, irrelevant information. I bet he talks about the trolls too. All these places and nobody will hire him. Maybe we've been too hard on George this whole time. He doesn't work a non-driving job because he can't. He's just a smelly idiot loser that no one wants to fuck with. And I don't blame him.
I mean, you could also do them on... Have you tried Indeed.com?
Yeah, that's where you have to go through. That's exactly what you have to go through, is Indeed. You have to go through that rigmarole through Indeed, which is sometimes is a dead link. Here's something to sink your teeth into. Okay, so these unclaimed, what do you call them? Unclaimed money that the government might have not left you or you might have not received. So there is a spam thing. It's all generated upon spam. So they say, check to see if you have some unclaimed money. So, okay, I'll go. I want to know if I got some unclaimed money. and then it tells you you want to go back to school, you want a bigger penis, you want to get a liposuction, you want to. And when was the last time you did your get this done, get that done? Like, what the fuck does that have to do with unclaimed? You get what I'm saying? And so you go through all this shit. It's a bunch of bullshit. And then it says spin the wheel and win something. Like what am I, a Wheel of Fortune? God damn, what the fuck is this shit?
What George is describing is a common scam, and he fell for it. This is the same guy that lost $20K to a Nigerian greeting card scam. I will say, those are some targeted ads because George is needing penile implants to get his 2-inch dong bigger, and he needs lots of liposuction.
I mean, like, really?
I mean, for a while
I don't want to
there,
fucking, and they still don't give you. They don't give you the answer whether you have an unclaimed thing or not. All or not. They still don't give you that shit. So I'm just like, really?
Yeah. It leads to
that's a bunch. So that's part of it. I'm sitting here watching reruns of Bewitched. I mean, on the phone, I'm watching All in the Family and Sanford and Son, trying to maintain my fucking sanity when the times I'm not doing absolutely fucking nothing.
This is what George does with his time instead of looking for work or even, picking up cans for scraps. He sits and watches 70 TV reruns. Like, how productive.
Trying to, watch the old 70s, to get my mind, clear my head.
Yeah.
And, yeah, man. A little bit of Sanford, a little bit of Archie Bunker, a little bit of George Jefferson, a little bit of all these
classics.
Yeah. God damn, man. Yeah.
I remember. I'm not sure if they still do this, GG. I'm not 100% sure, but I remember this was around. I remember seeing it then, around after COVID. Burger King was doing same day payments, so where if you worked for a day, you get paid that day.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're still doing that, but I remember seeing that. They were switching because they were trying to keep people from leaving. So if you worked that day, you got paid that day.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to get my friend, my deacon friend, and just tell him, look, I'm just, and that dude's helped me. That dude is real. That dude has helped me tremendously. I feel bad, and we had we kind of almost got into, he and I almost got into an argument yesterday about the the Lord says you got, he's a good guy. I don't, this is one guy solved the earth. This is the guy that I would try next to my kung fu instructor. I trust implicitly. There's, he said you gotta change your whole, method or whatever, and stop being so proud and being proud.
That's actually sound logic.
As much of an idiot that Deacon is for associating with George, he's right. George keeps doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, the definition of insanity. And we all know well that George is mentally unwell. George is also needing to listen about swallowing his pride. That definitely needs to happen, and he could benefit from it.
I call it it's like a hamster wheel. It's like if you're doing the same thing over and over again, you're going to get the same result. So when him telling you to change your method, he's telling you essentially to, okay, you've done it this way, just diverge a little bit this way, and you're going to end up with a different result. So there's merit to them telling you, hey, work at McDonald's. You don't have to work at McDonald's. You can find a different 9 to 5, and you'll have a better result than using your car.
There are so many jobs. Okay, there's grocery store. I would do this grocery store places I would work at before. I mean, I would go as far as I would work in a fucking deli if I had to. I would literally work in a deli in a grocery store. Okay, I'd do that.
Would you?
But
do
I would
carts?
not. If I had to, if they paid me 15, but they don't pay that.
15 for carts? No, they're not going to pay that. You're right.
15 for carts. I do carts, but mix it up with carts and fucking cashier. Okay, cashier? Hell yeah. Cashier job, I do like cashier. Just would not. You're not going to do 7-Eleven.
Angela said George can't count change, so I don't think he'd make a very good cashier. I also don't know anyone who would want those grimy hands and filthy fingernails going anywhere near their food, let alone bagging it for them. George the cashier is a strong argument for self-checkouts.
Like that because they're at the bottom. They're the bottom barrel. But there are places that you work as a cashier. I mean, as a real cashier.
Yeah.
And you just go. I do that. Yeah, and that's. I've been looking into stuff like that. But I mean, I'm just. I don't know. I put my resume in a lot of places. My resume in a lot of places. I have the service right now that's going to give me work, and I'm going to take it. And so right now I've got my work now. So the same service that, they cut it off over the one in the West End, and they're going to start it back up at South Side. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to do that. And I had to say, look, by the time I told them the situation, I said I emailed them that morning. I said, look, I'm having problems. My car is not running right. I said, today will have to be scratched. I said, I will have everything running, everything going properly for the next, when I start. And I have to have it that way.
Yeah.
And if I don't, then I'm going to have a problem. I mean, and right now the part is the problem is I don't have a pot to piss in. I don't have a pot to piss in. I have no money. So these are the issues that I'm dealing with. And, these are the issues I'm dealing with. So I'm of course I'm very upset. I'm very mad, and I'm sitting here watching people work on their cars in the parking lot. And if I knew how to work on my car, I'd fucking be done with it. But
oh wait, are you said you're at AutoZone?
I'm sitting here in the parking lot. Yeah, trying to wait.
Is it open?
Yeah, it's open, but I can't do anything. I have no money.
No.
I have no.
Did you ask them to hook up the machine to see what's wrong with the car? It'll pop up on the ticket for free.
Yeah. Well, that's the they do that but it's not with the engine and whatnot. They can't. They don't know what exactly.
Well, did you do it though, so you can give that to your mechanic?
I haven't done it, but they have checked it before, and this is a newer development and whatnot. It's leaking. The rear main seal is leaking.
So George said he can't go in the AutoZone and have them check his car with the computer because it won't work, but he hasn't tried it yet. Is George some sort of AutoZone computer expert? Then in the next breath he said they found it was leaking. His brain is scrambled.
And that's what's going. The rear main seal is leaking. It's not showing engine. Yeah. It's not. Yeah, it's not
man.
showing.
Oh,
it's
that's
not
fucking
showing.
bad.
Yeah, it's not showing engine damage. The rear main seal is leaking oil.
Okay,
really bad.
I have a question. When the car's on and you started it, when you hit the gas, does the noise get louder?
Yeah.
Oh, you got a rod knock. Oh shit. Is it really loud?
Oh, it's very loud.
Oh yeah, you got a rod knock, brother. Oh my god. Yep, that engine, brother. That's it for that engine. I had one of those on an old Blazer. That's a rod knock. That shit was so fucking loud. Like they heard me coming like 3 blocks away.
Yeah, it's loud. The car will run. The car will run.
Oh no, it'll run. Yeah, absolutely. But the more when you hit that gas, it gets louder and louder and louder, and it doesn't stop.
When you say a rod knock, you mean head gasket, or what you were talking about?
It's on my old Blazer, they had to take the engine apart to fix that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, so yeah, I didn't want to think head gasket. I know the oil and water mix. The oil mixes with water. That's definitely the head gasket. But I didn't want to think. I kind of thought that. I didn't want to say you're saying head gasket when you say rod.
If you like go to YouTube and you Google rod knock bearing sound, and you'll know if that sounds like your car. because it's an unmistakable noise.
Yeah. So that's what it's doing.
Damn. I'm sorry, brother. That junkyard may be the you might be right about that junkyard.
Yeah. So.
All right. So since we have that set, you're gonna do. You might more than likely have to do the junkyard. Have you called the the used car auto places for cheap cars to see what they're talking about?
Well, they got cars there. Now, I told you they got cars there. They've got a Honda Pilot that's got a radiator issue for 2,500, and they've got a little Volvo wagon that has nothing wrong with it. It's just an old and it's got some light problems with it or whatever. I don't know. That's for 15.
Oh yeah, you better go with that Volvo. Give them that money. Like, listen, do something for me, like straight up, because yeah, that your van right now. Unfortunately, yeah, that doesn't sound good. But yeah, you need to be looking for that.
Well, we kind of think that. I kind of thought that, and now you just said it. So, kind of like, okay. I mean, and I guess if a mechanic, I mean, he's been out of the picture because he's been out of the state. But I mean, if it's that, then yeah. So then you have to go to get a I mean, either get rid of it or get a salvaged engine. And then that's a nightmare within itself. But I can't. Then I definitely have to get a fucking rental if I have to go through all that. But I'll have to get a rental probably anyway because there'll probably be something wrong with that Volvo when we actually get into it and drive it.
Remember how in the last call George mentioned getting a rental and Pod caught him out for how stupid that idea was? Now George is back at it. Rental time. Nothing like paying a mortgage payment per month for a car and never breaking even with delivering food to your superiors to get out of the cycle. That's the Yardian way.
Something actually really wrong. $1,500, yeah, but then again, I don't even have $1,500, and I'm not going to even get. I mean, I'll be get the car is running. So let's say I get seven. That's half of what I need, and yeah,
that's better than nothing. But imagine you getting a rental car for $350 to $400. That's going to run you the amount that Volvo costs in a month. So you gotta weigh your options there.
Well, yeah, and it's a fucking holiday, Memorial Day weekend, so that doesn't help situation. It doesn't even feel like a fucking holiday. It feels like a fucking purgatory. I mean, it doesn't even feel like life. You know what it feels like? It feels like I'm fucking dead. What it feels like. It feels like I'm fucking dead, and yet but the only difference is I actually know what's going on, barely. And yet I'm having all this shit going on, and I can't do it. I can't have no control. I have no control over anything.
This call should be played in psych classes for a demonstration of grade A delusion and deflection. George has no control over this situation. He's the one who put himself in this situation. How does he not have any control over it? Nobody is stopping him from walking to Walmart or Burger King to get a job and make money. I'd recommend the bus to get there, but apparently unless George is driving the vehicle, he can't successfully navigate it. But yeah, this is all his fault, and he should have stopped a long time ago, but George is too good for every job he could possibly work to make money.
Now, what is this? Okay, so wait, what the hell is going on here now? I know I didn't see what I just saw.
What?
That's not him. He's driving this big truck. I didn't know he's driving a truck. What the hell?
Who did you think you saw?
No. He doesn't drive, but I mean he's a truck. But I mean I saw this big truck, and then he's driving. I thought I saw him driving this truck. Like, yeah, damn. He must have came and did some money. It's not him. It's not my mechanic. I mean, okay. It's like I don't know what else. Anyway,
are you at least close to your gym?
The car will make it there.
Okay. It's just loud.
But
it's obnoxious. I now I completely understand what you're going through and why you don't want to drive it. I know exactly why. That shit is not pleasant. It's not pleasant at all.
and the good thing about it is the church organization is willing to help me with it, but once they hear it's an engine problem, they're not going to. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't, they say, well, you have to fix it. Okay, well, we'll get a used engine, then like a salvage engine, and they're not going to want to do that. And then, so, I'm going to be really fucked.
It's so funny how charities refuse to help George because of the dumb decisions he wants to make. Yeah, real easy. Go salvage an engine and put it in. Real simple. You think that mechanic is going to carve out minimum 2 days worth of labor on the hopes that George will pay him back? And we all know George isn't doing it. He can barely tie his shoes.
Now, if this dude would show up, we could go down to the salvage yard. Well, that's closed today, so we can't do that. Check out that Volvo, but it's a 98 Volvo. For what I do, I don't even think that car would hold up. I mean, it's 98. Well, I mean, then again, they're good cars, Volvos, but I don't think a car that old, that's like almost 25. What is that? 20. So if it's 2000, it would be 23, and then, it's 25 years old. Isn't that an antique? If a car is 25 years old, are they considered antiques?
I don't think so.
What's the difference between an antique when you have to wear the black tags on? You can only drive during the day, but you can't drive during the night. You know what I mean? They got these old Beamers, the kind of the Beamers that I used to drive back in the day, and I see these antiques on them. These Beamers the 5 Series Beamers back in the day that I used to drive, and they're considered to be antiques now. Like, what the fuck? You can drive them during the day, but you can't drive them during the night. What predicates that for a car to be an antique?
Since George is too lazy and stupid to look it up, generally any car over 25 years is considered antique. George, you're almost 60. You're getting old. It's like his mind can't process this. He gets rattled and cries about celebrities dying and all this shit. Yeah, you're on your way out soon too, George. Not from age, but from a long period of shit health. His narcissistic brain can't handle death. Like, George can't comprehend a world that doesn't have him in it. I can, though, and it's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I mean, driving it at night.
You can't drive it at night. It's a penalty. You only can drive it during the day. Have you ever heard of that before? I mean, that's crazy. I mean, but it's true.
No.
They have the black tags on them. Black tags, and they're cars that are considered to be antiques. It's like an old Chevrolet Impala, 1960 Chevrolet Impala wing tops. You don't see those cars. You see them like that. That's an antique. You see like an Eldorado. That's an antique. But then again, the Ford. They've got Ford. They got a Ford. I saw on YouTube. The Ford Pinto is a fucking antique. Are you fucking kidding me?
No, George, nobody is fucking kidding you. The car is over 25 years old. It's considered antique. It's from the 70s, like no shit. If they made a station wagon version of the Pinto, though, George would have bought one despite the risks.
Ford Pinto.
Oh, wow.
You remember those cars when you used to drive them, and then one good hit in the rear, and the car blows up?
Yeah.
And they could call that an antique. Oh, God, that's funny. Jesus Christ. And then, hell, you might as well call it the AMC Gremlin and the French-made car, the Renault. They call that an antique also. Remember those cars? Bottom, well, I don't know how. Yeah, bottom of the barrel, like really. How about that car that was a bubble, the Chevy Vega? It's like an actually bubble. No. The Plymouth Opal. The Plymouth Opal, like OPAL,
Yeah.
and then the Chevy Vega, which was like a little box, and like you kid, you're driving like really, hey, look what I'm driving, and then the guy's trying to race you down the street as you're driving, That's fucked up. But
What time did you talk to that gentleman this morning?
2 hours ago.
He just said I'll be there today, and that's it. Like no
And he's
time
talking
frame.
about, well, his girl works here too. I mean, I probably need to go in there and see if she's in there. She's probably, but I don't see. I've been sitting here waiting for him. I like to deal directly with him, not her. But she's probably in here, so I have to. If she is in here, I'll walk in to see if she's working. But then again, probably not. I don't know.
Wait, she works
Uh,
at the AutoZone you're at?
yeah, yeah, the one that I'm at right now, she works in there. I haven't gone inside because I don't really want to go in there. I don't like going in there. I prefer Raleigh's pretty much over AutoZone. That's just me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Riley's is good too.
I actually applied to the Raleigh's and still waiting to hear something from them
Wait,
as a driver.
if his old lady works there, how about you ask her for a job? Or ask him to ask her, like, tell him the situation.
Well, AutoZone pays $12 an hour. So
It don't matter what it pays. You need anything right now.
It pays $12 an hour. I can get this job that I'm doing right now. That I was doing this temp job pays a whole lot more than that.
What does the temp job pay you to do at Costco?
I work as a demo. I work as a demo seller. They have a product they want to feature that day. They want to try to get it off the shelves. Like for example, you walk in, you see these people wear these hats, cover up their heads. They got these little go-karts.
The hairnets, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they walk up to you and say, "Hey, you want to try some vinegar piss?
Yeah,
Oh my God, it's so delicious." So you pour the vinegar piss in a cup. Say, "It's been freshly brewed. Want to try some?" And they take the cup, they drink it. It's good. Yeah. Well, you can help. I said, if I can't brew it out of my groins, it's from shelf 20.
This is George's idea of humor at the ripe age of 56. Vinegar piss. Drinking piss. Wow. Hysterical. The same humor that was so successful and wildly popular on his failed public access show. A real barnstormer of laughter.
If I can't brew it out of my groins right now, I'll go to the bathroom. You can go to the shelf right there, and it's already freshly prepared, freshly portioned in the bottle. I'm being funny, of course. Anyway.
No. So
Or like, hey, some
right,
soda,
right.
salt.
But Costco pays more than all those fucking retail stores. That's what they're known for. But is that a guaranteed full-time gig?
What the deal was at Costco, they had the temps in there doing that stuff, and the employees that were working for Costco, or the employees that were the main indirect vendor, if you could say, were pissed off because they weren't getting the hours because they were hiring the temps. So finally, about a few weeks ago, when I started it, the very next week, Costco decided to drop the temp service and give hours to because of labor costs and all that. So the very week and a half I was doing it, and got burned because there were people in there that were doing it for a year, but for at least 2 years after COVID, they started back up again doing that stuff. And they were in there. These people in there were for like 2 years doing that. That's not bad. But it so happens when Watt told me about the job, and then Watt stopped doing it himself for whatever reason. I got in there and I did it for about a week and a half to 2 weeks, and then they pulled the plug. They all the temps got they cut the temps.
Yeah, Costco probably saw the quality of people the temp agency was hiring, like George and Watt, and asked themselves, why the fuck are we contracting with these people? So they got canned. Those longtime temps can thank homeless George and Waterhead Watt for ruining it for everybody.
Now the other location has the need for the temps.
Oh, so a different Costco has it.
The one on South Side, yeah.
Okay.
And that's the one that's further away. So that's the challenging thing about it, but it's what it is.
And that's the one you're going to be working at going forward?
Yeah, that's the one I'm working at.
So they're actually guaranteeing you hours.
It's guaranteed.
Okay,
That's guaranteed. Okay. Yeah, so that's no brainer. There's a few go-karts that like they've assigned me to sample wine, but it's in It's not at Costco. It's in. I have to figure out where it's at. But coming up week, I have to go ahead and feature wine to the go karts, and that's extra money right there. That pays 22. 3 hours worth of work, it pays 22. For 2 days worth of work, 65 and 65. That's 130. For just that alone, not working Costco, that's 130. See what I'm saying, Padre? So the money bills. That's 130 there, and then.
Wow, George is really striking gold with these temp things. 5 hours work for 130. He'll be out of debt in no time. I still don't want this motherfucker anywhere near a food sample.
I work for 2 weeks, and then I get about close to $1,000 right there. So like $1,100-$1,200 within about 2 weeks. I mean, it's not bank, but I mean, well, yeah, it is bank because compared to what I'm going through right now, it is bank. $1,200 changes a whole lot of issues for me.
True.
That's what I'm talking about. So.
Okay, well that's why you're guaranteed. That's why
I'm not worried about that. And I'm going to do it. But I'm tired of this shit. I have to take the money from the sale of this car and get a rental for a week. I'm going to have to do that, but that means that I'm going to have to really fucking because then that's 400. Yeah, that's going to be tough as shit. Because that's going to be 400 a week. And I have to come up with some kind of, that's going to suck. God damn it. You can't fucking win. But I mean, I don't know what to do in the process.
No, George. Someone can win in that situation. Winning would be not being George Yared. That is a victory for everyone who is not George.
Right.
Because then I have no car at all. But then again, it's like, well, is the charity going to help me fix the car the way it is right now?
I think the charity will try to help you find a car.
Yeah.
Or they'll help you get a car.
Yeah. So that's the double-edged sword right now. There's a mechanic on Brook Road that rents cars, sells cars, makes cars. That's probably where I need to go.
Yeah.
He's not open until. He might be open Monday. If I'm sitting here waiting for this guy all day, I'm just going to tow the damn thing over there. But see, I have no money. That's the problem. This guy has been working with me. I literally have no fucking money. So.
And did you tell the mechanic that you're sitting in that parking lot?
I told him I'm here. So yeah. It's going on 3 hours. I'm gonna probably walk in here and see this ladies in here and whatnot. I hate walking into this place because it makes me look like a fucking beggar.
You look like a beggar because you are a beggar. You're a professional beggar, always looking at someone else for a handout or to bail you out for free from a shitty situation. The lack of self-awareness here is off the charts.
Every time I walk in this place, because they know that I parked the car here, waiting for the past few weeks since I've had these problems with the car, that I wait here for him to come and show up, like it's just kind of like fucked up. But I don't really give a fuck about that, It's just, I mean, if I can.
At this point, you have no choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna let you do that. Wait for him, and I'll give you a call a little later. See what he said about the car, and see if we can, if I can.
Well, I don't. If he ever shows up, I'm thinking. Well, he has to pick up his old lady, so I would think he would show up. But I don't even know if she's working.
Right.
So I gotta walk in here to see if she's even working.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I'll give you a call later though to check up on you.
All right. That's fine.
All right, GG. Take care, man.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
I'll give you a little spoiler. The mechanic's SO was working that day, but the mechanic snuck in and picked her up without George knowing and completely ghosted him. Literally and figuratively, poor George. Alright, that's it for the call. Hope you all enjoyed. Please let me know what you thought of this format. I'm going to try and get a few more commentaries out in the next few weeks. Thanks as always for listening and for all your support. I appreciate you all. And that's it for me. Have a good one, ladies and gents.